If you are an RVer, there are some things you should never do, and you want to stay until the end because we have one that is really controversial that gets so many people heated when we talk about it.
We want to thank eTrailer for sponsoring this video.
So over the years as full-time RVers, we have worked at a lot of different campgrounds and we've seen a lot of crazy things happen.
Yeah, when you've been at a campground for 4 to 5 months and you're working with all these different people and they come in and some of them have no clue what to do, and then other times we're trying to call people because we see things happening with their RV. We've learned a lot, and we've also made a ton of mistakes on our own. And so we've got a master list today.
Number 1, never leave your tank valves open. Now you don't want to do this because by leaving them open, you are allowing the liquids or the water to flow out, and anything that is solid will sit right in your tank. As time goes on, those solids stack up. A lot of people call that a poop pyramid. That can also happen in your gray tanks as well, with soap scum, food, hair, other items that might get down into your gray tank. Those can also build up, and you have a harder time flushing those out and cleaning your tanks if you don't leave the valves closed and let the water pool up inside. By doing so, you can drain all of that out when you pull your valve. The force of that water coming out takes all of that with it. Now, there are a lot of people that believe you can leave your gray valves open and only leave your black valve closed. And when you're ready to dump, you close your gray tank valves, build up the water, and then you flush out the system when you dump your black tanks. Doing that is a possibility. However, once again, you are risking leaving soap scums, hair, food particles, and other debris in your gray tanks that just sit there. We don't like to do it that way. A lot of other folks leave their gray tanks open and they put a P-trap in their black hose, and that does stop odor from getting in. But again, by doing that, you are allowing your tanks to sit dry and those dry items to harden up in there, and it makes it harder to flush them out. Number 2, never empty your tanks at a dump station without checking your valves first. That is very important. We've learned this lesson the hard way, and we've seen other people learn this lesson the hard way as well, and it's really pretty disgusting. It's very important to make sure that each one of your valves are closed before you take the cap off to hook your hose up to drain your tanks. We have actually gotten a surprise when we took the cap off and one of the valves were open, and let's just say I had a mess all over. So it's very important to make sure these valves are closed. Now, one thing that we want to incorporate into our system is the Valterra twist-on valve. And this is a gate valve that is an extra step of protection that doesn't allow those nasty messes to happen.
Number 3, never leave your awning out when you leave the RV, but I would go so far as to say is if you're not using it, just don't even have it out. The reason I say that is because we were inside the RV when we lost our awning. We heard it happening.
Yeah, we were in Florida. It was a perfectly calm day. We had the awning out. We even had it staked down. All of a sudden, a microburst hit, and by the time I got outside to pull the stakes up, it already was too late. It blew our awning off, it ripped it, it bent our awning arm, and we've been traveling around with a damaged awning for the last couple years.
So we just did one of the biggest DIY projects we've done on the RV, and we replaced the awning and the awning arm after driving around. I think it's been almost 3 years now that we've been driving around with a zip-tied awning. We have looked so classy. But eTrailer supplied all of the parts that we needed and made it really easy for us to get this project done. I was intimidated because I knew that the awning, was it the awning arm or what was it that was heavy?
The awning fabric on the 21-foot roll, she was awesome. She helped me through that whole process. Just the two of us put this whole awning on by ourselves.
Yeah, so it's totally doable, and it wasn't even close to as bad as I thought, and I'm very weak and have very little upper body strength, and we were able to get it done in we timed it, and it was it like under 3 hours?
4 hours, 5 hours.
So if you have an RV DIY project that you need to do, definitely check out eTrailer. They have every option you can imagine. Number 4, never travel with your propane tanks open. So you want to just think about the fact that if you get into a crash, there could be a massive explosion. If you're driving down the road, which we all know the roads in this country are crazy, and the bumps could potentially cause leaks. And again, you just risk explosion. That's something you want to avoid when it comes to propane. The other thing we highly recommend is using gas stop propane safety devices. These will cut off the supply of propane to the RV if there is a major leak, potentially saving lives of those around you and yourself. And we have a full video on these gas stop devices, so he'll put it up there wherever it goes.
Number 5, never put your slides out without being level. Now, due to our frame failure, we have been hypersensitive about this because for the life of this RV, we've always had slide issues. Now, yes, it was due to the frame failure, but it has made us really aware and do a lot of research. It is important that you are as level as can be every time you operate your slides, whether that's in or out. Now, we do know that if you are just making a quick stop in a parking lot and the parking lot is basically level, it is okay to just put your slides out for those short-term purposes. But it is really important that you are not putting your frame in a compromised position as you're trying to put your slides in and out. That can damage them. Now, one thing you can do just to be extra cautious is you can grab your level and check it really quick just to make sure you're not way out.
Number 6 is never leave your RV without turning the water off. So if you are not on full hookups and you're using your water pump, just make sure you have your water pump off. If you are on full hookups, just go out to the water spigot and turn that off.
So why is it important to shut your water off when you leave your RV for the day? Well, we've been at campgrounds working and literally saw water just pouring out of RVs. We'd have to run and shut the water off. We would notify you in the office. You would try to reach them a lot of times unsuccessfully, especially if we were in an area like Yellowstone.
Yeah, no signal in Yellowstone, so they would come back to destroyed whatever it was that happened that day. So the other thing that can happen is if you're traveling with water in your tank because you're heading to boondock and you don't have that water pump off, something can happen. You can hit a bump, something can fall, whatever. Turn the faucets on. This does happen. And you can end up opening your RV and finding a flooded RV and an empty freshwater tank because the water pump wasn't off. And I know this one sounds crazy and we are not pet people, so we don't have to worry about this, but this has happened as well. People have had their pets somehow get that faucet handle in either the bathroom or the kitchen, and they come back to a totally flooded RV. So again, if your water's off at the spigot or if your water pump's off, you have no worries.
Number 7, never hook up to campground water without using a water pressure regulator. Now, we feel this is really important and we have firsthand experience why we feel that way. Now, we had a less expensive water pressure regulator when we first started out and hit the road. And when we were in Arizona, we discovered that it was faulty. We ended up having higher water pressure than we thought and had some water leaks due to that on our RV. Since then, we have switched over to this nicer water pressure regulator, and it has the adjustable dial on it so that you can adjust the pressure up and down. Now, ideally, you want to be between 40 and 55 PSI, and this has the gauge on it so that you can see what the pressure is. Our less expensive one did not have a gauge and it was not adjustable. You generally want to hook the water pressure regulator, or the standard practice would be to hook that directly to the water spigot, and then everything after that, the water pressure is already controlled. There are some instances where you may want to change that. One might be if you're in higher elevation and the temperatures may drop into freezing temperatures, you may need your water pressure regulator inside your storage compartment to where it doesn't freeze. So you would use a heated water hose hooked directly to the spigot and then run that into your storage bay, and then you would hook your water pressure regulator up. There may be a few other reasons or scenarios where you might not use this directly on the spigot, but the standard practice is hook it directly up to the water spigot and then all of your water pressure is regulated. Number 8, never RV without using water detectors. We have these placed in different locations around the RV, one down in the storage unit by our wet bay, one in the bathroom under the sink, and one in the kitchen under the sink. We've actually been sitting here and a water alarm went off, we were able to get up, go shut off the water, and get the issue taken care of right away. The nice thing about these is it also comes with Wi-Fi capability, where you pair these to the wall unit, you plug this into the wall, and you download the app on your phone, and you can be notified even if you are not here at the RV that you have a water issue. You could then call somebody to help take care of it, or you could rush back and get it taken care of. So we definitely recommend these. Number 9, never travel without checking your tire pressures. It's really important and it's really easy to do, whether you check it the night before a travel day or the morning of. There are different gauges that you can use, but you always want to make sure that your tires are at the proper pressure, especially if you're traveling from a warm climate to a cold, or a cold to a warm. It's really important to keep an eye on those tire pressures. Also, using a TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system, is very helpful as well. Now, we have more information on this and we will link it here in the video above.
Number 10, never touch your sewer hose without wearing gloves.
So this is the heated debate in the comments every time we post videos about this on social media. And there's two camps, the ones like us who will only wear gloves, and then people who are adamant about not wearing gloves. And the biggest question we get is, well, do you wear gloves when you wipe when you're using the bathroom?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't wear gloves when I go to the bathroom.
The other comment is usually, well, I always wash my hands right away after I get done.
My argument to that is you usually touch multiple door handles and the faucet in order to even go in and wash your hands.
But we've also witnessed with our own eyes people at dump stations and people with full hookups, both situations. They don't wear gloves. And I'm not saying that they're saying that they go wash their hands right away, but like we just see a lot of people doing this and not washing their hands afterwards. And then you also have the people who say, well, I just go straight to the bathroom and wash my hands, meaning the campground bathroom. And that's why I refuse to touch door handles at campgrounds, because it's disgusting.
Yeah, then you're contaminating the door handle to the public bathroom. We have seen people, like you said, at dump stations or even at their campsite do their RV black hose and then open their truck door, jump in, and then they pull off. And they're touching their steering wheel and everything else. So we are just in the camp that it's just better to wear gloves. And when you do wear gloves, it's important that you learn how to take them off properly. And then the last thing I'll say about gloves is don't wear your gloves to dump your tanks and then touch everything else in your cleanup area with your dirty gloves.
Yeah.
Make sure to take them right off.
That is something that people comment on. Well, all of you people who wear gloves, we see you going around and touching other things as well. And so they're watching us too. I guess you just have to be aware of that, because you're always being watched at the campground, whether you're backing in and people are watching or you're taking care of your tanks. And the last thing is never rush the process, whether you're setting up, tearing down, or actually on the road. Rushing is never going to pay off, because that's always when the biggest mistakes happen. If you are an RVer, you might have some things that we did not cover that you would say never do. So let's help everybody out in the comments and share those things so that we can all learn from each other. Now, get out there and wander.